Hello everyone. Hey, it's so good to see you guys today. You know what today is? Today is Malik's 24th birthday. Malik is our oldest son, and Malik is in prison, serving a 96-year life sentence. Forgive me for the airplanes overhead. I live in Colorado, and we are the Air Force state, Air Force city, actually. So, they tend to do this no matter how much you think you wait for quiet. But anyways, I wanted to share some things today, thinking about Malik's life, mental health in particular. And I just got a few things I feel like I really want to share today with you. Malik, like I said, he was our firstborn son. And Malik was born with a hearing loss. He wears hearing aids. He does hear and he does speak, but he has a severe hearing loss nevertheless. And Malik, for the most part, really was your typical normal child. He really was. He was shy and quiet, that much he was. And he was a people pleaser. And you didn't really have to discipline him much. Malik was so quiet, he just kept everything inside. So fast forward all the way till when he's a teenager, then it just kind of, everything started to spill out. And maybe a lot of you can relate. A lot of things started to spill out in high school, and he got into trouble at school. And that was our first indication that something was wrong. And maybe a lot of you can relate to this. We began our downworld spiral when Malik was 16 years old, of one counselor after another, one therapist after another. Malik even did multiple stays in mental health facilities. He stayed a month here, a month there, and received several different types of diagnoses, several personality disorder diagnoses, ADHD, and homicide ideation tendencies. And, Malik began to share things with counselors that we had never known that he was thinking about in his mind, things that he was really planning out. And Malik was he had a desire to harm, to hurt, even though he had never hurt an animal, a sibling. I'm serious. It was just like we felt really blindsided by Malik's thoughts and his diagnoses and the things that were coming out that we were learning in his counseling. And but we also have other children at home too, so we want to keep them safe, and so we followed the safety plans that they would give us when they would send Malik home. You put up all your knives, your kitchen knives. We do not own any guns. So, we would put up our kitchenware, and Malik never showed those behaviors at home, and then Malik graduates high school, but he's also not in a public school anymore. He's in these special schools, and these schools, that's a video for another day. Not much help in any of those alternative schools either, not a lot of help from our church either. Mental illness seems to just leave a lot of people dumbfounded, and not knowing what to do, not knowing how to help. We have pills, we have medications, we have group therapy, and some people have got great success stories with those, and then some of us don't, and I'm a family that does not. So I thought I would share my unsuccessful story, knowing that there are others out there who are very well in the same similar situation, that you very well have a teenager at home who has homicide ideation tendencies. They think about killing people. They think about harming their family members. And then yet on the other hand, they are very lovable children, lovable teenagers, even responsible teenagers. You leave them to babysit your other kids and they're safe. You can depend on them to drive to the store and get things or whatever, you know? So it's a real up and down. It's a real up and down, you know? And it can also it can also keep you, I think, as a mother at times in denial of what's going on with your teen, you know? Especially if they're going to school, holding down a job, you know, but then yet in the privacy of their room, they're having these homicide ideation thoughts. And they're planning it, thinking. And you know what? They're smart enough to understand that if they tell people out loud, if they speak it out loud, that they'll either be arrested or they'll be put away. And I think Malik had gotten to that point. He understood enough that if he had said again, I'm thinking about killing you guys, I'm thinking about killing people again, that we would put him back into the group home, because that was the routine. You know, when Malik did express it, then we would go seek help. And somewhere Malik reached a point inside of himself that he decided he didn't want help anymore. He wanted to act upon it. So he had went out and purchased a knife himself several months before he committed his crime. And he had kept it hidden. Malik was going to community college. You know, I picked him up the same day that it happened from school, drove home. You know, he was withdrawn and quiet. And I of course, asked all the random questions, you know, even took him out to eat at McDonald's that same day and had lunch with him privately, you know, seeing maybe if he'll speak or say anything. He did not. And then there was the time when you know, there was that evening that he decided he was going to do what he wanted to do, unfortunately. And he had a real evil plan. And he wanted to murder his entire family. My mother lived with us at the time, so he was planning on murdering his grandmother, his mom, dad, and all 4 of his siblings, and bury us in our own backyard. It's awful to even say out loud. Awful. Doesn't even feel it's not natural. None of this is natural. And yet it's like very natural, because other families have reached out to me in this. You know, unfortunately, we were on the news, our local news, you know, for quite a while, and while the whole, you know, while Malik was in jail and the back and forth at the court systems. And so, you know, it's embarrassing and it's shameful at times to go out in public and people recognize your face and recognize you. Some are pity, you know, others are a lot of judgment, you know. And I know the question, how did you not know? How did you not see it? Well, we didn't, friends. We didn't. Not with Malik, not with his personality. We didn't see that he would really do such a thing. I mean, that is extremely hard to see in somebody you really love that lives with you, especially your own child. Excuse me. It just is, you know, very much so. Very much so. So, you know, if you have a teenager, when they are talking about, especially when they are thinking about, you know, the homicide ideation, you know, we just have to get them out of our houses. You know what? And I think that would be my answer today. That would be my advice to you today. They need to just be removed, because it's unpredictable. It is very, very much unpredictable. Everything about it is unpredictable. They are unpredictable. And even though we as parents, as maybe their spouses, we really don't think that. We really don't. But we cannot risk it. We cannot risk it. And if I could just turn back the clock, I never would have let Malik back in my house. You know, Malik did something really, really annoying and horrendous that summer of 2017 before he killed his siblings. And he had taken our vehicle, drove out of state, ended up in Illinois, stranded, no gas, even set the vehicle on fire, you guys, okay? Illinois police get a hold of us, you know. He's not from that state. He had lived with us. They just basically want to be done with them, send him back, you know what I mean? The property that he damaged was ours. Wasn't like it was somebody's there in Illinois, you know. They pretty much basically, long story short, just released Malik back to us under cognitive recognition, I don't know, something. But we never even, you know, he never paid a bond. He came back. He was on like this probation kind of a thing, you know, doing these random drug tests, checking in with the Illinois court. But it was, I never should have did that, friends. I should have left him in jail up there and told Illinois, you need to deal with him all the way, treated as if I am some random person in Illinois, not his mother, that, you know, pressed charges against him and left him there to deal with that. Very well, my children could still be alive today. Or, who knows, you know, I'm not God, I can't. But I know in grief, we definitely do a lot of what ifs. We do. We do a lot of what ifs. A lot of regret, a lot of looking back. And yes, people tell us, you know, blah, 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 but it doesn't matter. In grief, we look back and we regret, and that's just part of the recovery journey of grief. We have to look back. We've got to be able to revisit those things in order to understand where our real responsibility lies in that horrible thing, that tragedy, you know? So, you know, your story we all grieve, are unique. Our grief is unique to us. Your loss is your loss. My loss is my loss. But yet we share common ground of the loss, of a presence of somebody that we loved so much no longer in our lives, whether alive or dead. Noah and Sophia, they're in heaven, and I miss their presence every day. And Malik is in prison, and I miss his presence every day. I miss my family together. I do. I miss my family together. And today of all days, on Malik's day of birth, the day I gave birth to my firstborn son, all the hopes and the dreams that you have for your child, your children, and most especially that first one, you know, so many hopes and dreams, so many. And we were better people because of Malik. You know, we wanted to be better parents because of Malik, for Malik. You know, he was the start of our family together, our journey of children. You know, I've been pregnant 10 times, 5 live births. I've always wanted to be a mother, really, you know, I did. I just wanted to be a mother. I enjoy staying home. I do. I enjoy raising my children at home. And I'm sorry it's been a few days for my videos. You know, YouTube certainly does not pay my bills. So I still work. And I clean for a living. I do new construction cleaning right now in grief. It's really hard to be around children and teach again and just, yeah. So I do new construction cleaning. And I am exhausted when I get home, friends. So it's been difficult getting a video made every day. So, you know, we do what we do in grief. Do what the Lord calls us to do. Do each day what the Lord gives us strength to do. And of course, most days I wish for abundant amounts of strength. But the Lord doesn't see fit to give it to me that way. He tends to dose it out in small doses to me. Sometimes I get the big surges of strength and run like an Energizer bunny for a couple days, but a lot of the times it is in small doses. You know, the Lord's very, very tender in that area. I want to leave you with this, friends. You know, in the Bible it says, against all hope, Abraham believed. I tend to put my name a lot in the Bible, and my children's names, my husband's names, anybody who I'm praying for, actually. So I'll say, against all hope, Melissa in hope believed. Against all hope, Melissa in hope believed. I am believing for something good for Malik still. I am still believing that God can use Malik's life for God's glory, for good, even in prison. 96 years. The reality of that, friends, is he very well will die in prison. You know. But I am believing God is going to take this mess and use it for his good. God is going to take what Satan meant for evil and turn it into his good. And I believe that the Lord can heal us of our mental health illnesses. He can heal us of these homicide ideations, these psychotic tendencies, these sociopath tendencies. You know, and Malik is you know, struggling in his faith right now, you know, and especially at the time I remember he wasn't believing in God anymore. He didn't think God existed, even though, so, you know, and Malik was 9 years old when he gave his life to the Lord. 9 years old by himself. Came home that day after Wednesday night church, so excited that he had given his life to the Lord Jesus. And look what happened to him. Look what's gone on to him. You know, guys, no family's exempt. No family's exempt from evil, from mental health, you know, from anxiety and depression and worry. No family. You know, and I know some of these families, they make it look real good, don't they? Their kids and their teenagers, they ain't got nothing wrong with them. Their kids don't have no mental health issues. They would know what it's like to sit in a therapist's office week after week, month after month, year after year. They don't know what it's like to be dealing with your health insurance, to get the co-pays for these medications that are expensive. You know, they don't know what it's like to have to sit and deal with teachers in schools because of your child's behavior or learning disability, coping disability, depression. They don't know. But there's a lot of us who do, though, friends, and I'm one of them. My family, we are one of them. We know. We know. And so I just want to encourage you, friends, don't give up. You know, don't give up. Don't give up in your faith for healing, for your loved one that is battling and struggling with mental health, and even especially homicide ideation. Don't give up hope. Don't give up in prayer. And most importantly, don't give up. But we also need our boundaries too. So when these young people return of legal adult age, we need them out, you know? And when they are expressing that they want to kill you, or they were expressing that they want to kill their sibling, you need to get them out, friends. They just have to go. But I understand, where do they go, right? Right? Because in most places, you got to commit a crime for the police or someone to come help get your kid out of there and get them somewhere. And the other side of that is that there's a waiting list miles long. That tells us so much, friends, so much, that there is a waiting list for families to get their kids in for mental health help. That's ridiculous, friends. So families are sitting around with zero help. Even the pastors don't know how to help them. People can't come into their homes and help hold these families' hands through this ugly time, because this is real work. And it is so above our pay grade as parents. You know? Oh, friends. It's serious and it is real, and I hear you and I see you, and I know our nation is battling and struggling with mental health in many faces, in a variety of ways, and we are battling and struggling loss in major ways, not just death, but even in our minds, the battle in our mind, We're grieving over who we used to be, grieving over where we even are in life right now, especially this post-COVID world. Few people can't even have funerals for their loved ones. Can you imagine? You can't even have a funeral, you know? So anyways, I'm getting off topic again. I've got so much always in my heart to share and talk about. But today, on Malik's birthday, I especially wanted to bring up mental health. I especially wanted to bring up homicide ideation in particular. And just encourage everyone. Encourage. Don't be ashamed. As parents, don't be ashamed. That shame, it doesn't belong to you. That's a lie from the pit of hell. That shame doesn't belong to you. You know, and we just got to push away that shame. Give it to the Lord. Ask the Lord, remove this shame from me, Lord, so I can do what you are calling me to do for my child. And also give me the strength and the courage to do what you are calling me to do. And if that's to put this child out of my house, then give me the courage to do so, Lord. I say that to God all the time. Like, my courage comes from the Lord, not for myself. So if he doesn't give it to me, then I'm not going to have it to do it. Any success I ever have comes from the Lord. The Bible says so. You know, the Bible's full of 1,000 promises that are ours for the keeping, guys. You know, you think about it real fast. Abraham had one promise, the son. He'll be the father of many nations. We have 1,000 promises. Every promise in the Bible is ours. And it is yours to claim for you, your husband, your wife, your children. It's yours for the taking, if you will only believe. But I'm here for you for this. I understand this, you know. I mean, please feel free, email me, message me, tell me your story. Let me hear from you, please. Let me know how I can pray for you specifically. Pray for your teenager that is struggling with battling mental health illness. Pray over your counselors and your therapists that you are using, that you will be successful and see some success. And you won't be a story like mine. You won't be a statistic like mine. You'll be an overcomer. You'll be an overcomer. And you know what? So will we. It might just look different than other people's, you know, but so will we. So will we. Well, God bless you, brothers and sisters. So, God bless you. You know, and if you're getting any value out of this video, I encourage you to subscribe, like my videos, and weekly we can meet together, and I hope I encourage and bless you, strengthen you in your walk and trials, because it sure is a blessing to me to be able to speak to you. God bless you and be well.